Welcome back to MPWF WAR, ladies and gentlemen. What we just witnessed was truly disgusting. If Vern Mongo can get any more sick, I don't even have words to describe what we just witnessed. Vern Mongo just abducted Joe Eagle's son, and then for some odd reason, Lamar James Jackson just came and beat the holy hell out of Joe Eagle and gut-wrenched him through that table right in front of where Ricky Cash and Chandrella Johnson are now. And I'm so disgusted what we just witnessed. I can't even fathom how disgusted I am at Ricky Cash and Chandrella Johnson. There's nothing good about these two people whatsoever. You know, Ricky Cash is happy about what happened last week, happy about taking out Brian Adams. Ricky Cash, we saw him make out with Chandrella Johnson on top of Brian Adams' body, holding up the World Championship. Don't forget that at Starrcade, Ricky Cash will go one-on-one with Brian Adams for the World's Heavyweight Championship. So there's that woman, Chandrella Johnson, and she is all. My goodness, I don't even know what to say right now. Because there are many people who like Chandrella Johnson. I'm not one of them. I mean, how can anyone condone Vern Mongo's actions just now? How can anyone condone Lamar James Jackson's actions just now? He just prevented Joe Eagle from protecting his son. What, for a grudge of last week? I don't even know. This doesn't make any sense right now here on War. But nonetheless, we said earlier that Ricky Cash had something to say, and he's in the ring and he's ready to speak. Well, quite frankly, I think that Ricky Cash is on the microphone right now and acting like a big shot because Brian Adams hasn't arrived in the arena yet here in Omaha, Nebraska. Oh, this is interesting here. Ricky Cash calling out Zack Ryder instead of Brian Adams tonight. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that here, but he also screwed Zack Ryder last week out of that tag team matchup. Him and Reese Bobby. Now Ricky Cash is praising Zack Ryder. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, there is no way that Zack Ryder is going to leave his best friend to help you, Ricky Cash, to defeat Brian Adams for the World Championship. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard anyone say in my entire life. It's probably spawned from Chandrella Johnson's mouth. But here is a Long Island Dice Z, who's making his way to the ring to confront Ricky Cash right now, as he has no problem with that. No, wait, Reese Bobby from underneath the ring, and this is a setup. This is a trap here by Ricky Cash and Reese Bobby, and it seems that in recent weeks, these two have become bosom buddies, and now Reese Bobby beating the hell out of Zack Ryder on the outside of the ring. Now tell me why the hell this is necessary. Now Reese Bobby putting Zack Ryder inside the ring here, standing tall with Ricky Cash. And wait, ladies and gentlemen on the stage, there's the World Champion Brian Adams. He's arrived. Brian Adams here to take Cash, but oh no, Ricky Cash and Reese Bobby intercepting both of them as Zack Ryder tried to get back up, and now they're stomping away at Cash and at Adams and Ryder. Now look at Ricky Cash exiting in the ring. Ricky Cash one-upping Brian Adams one more time this week. At Starrcade, there ain't gonna be no more running for Ricky Cash. He's gonna have to face the music when he faces Brian Adams alone. I can't wait to see when that happens. Ricky Cash makes me sick. But again, what started off as a good night turned to a bad night thanks to Vern Mongo and Ricky Cash. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune into Superstars this week. The main event will feature the United States Champion. Shawn Angel Blade Stevens will be on Superstars, and he will face Victor Dragon, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be a fantastic match, I promise you that. Plus, here, ladies and gentlemen, at Starrcade, as we said before, Brian Adams will defend his World Championship against Ricky Cash. He's going to have to watch out for Chandrella Johnson because she's certainly going to try and get herself involved in that matchup. I assure you that. And again, Shawn Stevens a part of another match at Starrcade. Money in the Bank is on the line. Tendencies must defend his Money in the Bank opportunity in a triple threat match against Shawn Stevens and Helios Christ as punishment for assaulting all those superstars a few weeks back on MPWF WAR. And ladies and gentlemen, just added to the MPWF Starrcade card, the World Tag Team Champions. The MPWF Tag Team titles on the line as the Goth Flick Society defends their tag team titles against the Super Sparxx Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this song is Diamond Eyes, ladies and gentlemen, by Shinedown. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for our main event as we move on to other things here in the MPWF and the War brand. And here comes the United States Champion Shawn Stevens to another huge ovation once again. and Shawn Stevens will be the special ring enforcer for this #1 contenders match. It's an interesting situation here, as Shawn Stevens, who will be a part of that Money in the Bank opportunity match at Starrcade, gets to be the special ring enforcer for his 2 opponents at Starrcade, as they both compete for the opportunity to get a shot at his United States Championship next week on episode 10, live from Tokyo, Japan. And Shawn Stevens is not afraid of anybody here in the MPWF. He has been through hell, literally. Systematic Carnage chokeslammed him through hell almost a year ago, back in November, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Shawn Stevens returned at WrestleMania and defeated Systematic Carnage, and since then, things have been up. Shawn Stevens has enjoyed being a more normal person once again, going back, reverting to his old self, as Shawn Stevens has said to me in the past. He says he loves being the United States champion and does not ever want to lose his US championship. Well, he has the opportunity to find out who his opponent will be next week. And here comes Mr. Money in the Bank himself, ladies and gentlemen, Tendencies. And he certainly isn't a happy camper as of late. Tendencies was attacked at TLC by someone unknown who we have yet to discover who that is. And Tendencies will not let that point up. Tendencies said that he went on his rage, his attack of the War roster a couple of weeks back, for the simple fact is that nobody has done anything about him being assaulted at TLC. He said it was blasphemy. He said it was horrible. I mean, he said, why didn't management deal with that situation? I mean, well, management is dealing with it all right. The general manager, the MPWF chairman, making Tendencies put his Money in the Bank opportunity on the line at Starrcade against 2 other competitors. 2 other great competitors at that. I mean, this is going to be difficult for Tendencies to retain his Money in the Bank opportunity. But I mean, Tendencies, if he does, he definitely deserves to have that Money in the Bank. I mean, you gotta in some cases feel for Tendencies. I mean, yeah, he was unfair, and yeah, he did some bad, but having to put his Money in the Bank on the line, I guess you just don't cross the boss. And here is a man who hasn't really said much on the matter. Helios Christ was attacked by Tendencies, and then we saw him show up last week on MPWF WAR to try and stop Shawn Stevens, to attack him after Shawn Stevens retained his championship against Tommy Douglas. Helios Christ has kind of been in the shadows. Nobody actually knows what Helios Christ has been up to as of late. And it's quite interesting, actually. A lot of people want to find out what Christ is doing. I mean, Christ, in his first match since that main event against Shawn Stevens 2 weeks ago, has appeared back on WAR, this time with an opportunity to be a #1 contender for the United States Championship. Helios Christ, a former World Champion, actually won the World Championship when we had the inception of the WAR brand. In some cases, you could say that Helios Christ is the first World Champion of MPWF WAR. And if he has the Money in the Bank briefcase or the Money in the Bank Championship, you can take that the way you see it, have it the way you want it. Helios Christ can cash that in and defeat one of his old nemesis, Brian Adams, for that championship, or maybe Ricky Cash if Ricky Cash wins the title at Starrcade, and I hope to God that doesn't happen. But in any event, that's a different story for a different time. But again, Helios Christ making his way to the ring. It's again mixed reactions by the crowd here. Some of the crowd feel for Helios Christ and being attacked by Tendencies. Some feel that Helios Christ deserves it. And either way, this is going to be one hell of a main event between Tendencies and Helios Christ here tonight on MPWF WAR. So this situation here for the Money in the Bank is getting pretty intense here. I said I cannot wait for Starrcade to see when this all goes down. But ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because when we return, we will begin our MPWF WAR main event.